Hi, class. I wanted to give you some quick video feedback. You all have done a really great job. I'm very excited to see what you've done. These colors, working really well. A couple things. Let's update the date here and link to your sites. Create a LinkedIn for yourself. And again, this was just a week of work, so you've got time to update. I do want to point out a few things. You're clearly a good designer, Lily. I can tell by the way you offer enough padding and spacing and the font selections and things like that. Do watch for this. It's a moire pattern that's in the image. Okay. So that is something a graphic designer avoids. Okay. Let's see. Colors are great. And I want to see if this is linking. It's either not linking or the images are so large they're not loading yet, and I think it's not linking. So remove it or link it. Let's be consistent with the home page as far as the size of your headers, things like that. But otherwise, this is great. Don't even know if you need that, but as far as visually, you don't need it. The hierarchy would be great without it. And this one is linked up, and I did look at this earlier. Really love it. You have a very distinct color palette you're working with. I love that. And okay, nicely laid out. Colors look good, font's good. Okay. Again, here, if you're going to, as a graphic designer, if you're going to use images, you're going to push it because you've already created, you've styled it, right? You've used a filter or you've pushed the contrast or something. You would, if you're going to do that to this degree, then you're also going to go in and do other graphic fixes, like probably eliminate this. This shadow will probably come out, that would come out, things like that. The pole, rooftop, things like that. That's what you want to think about, okay? Every piece of your work, but it's looking great. These angles are nice with the white. So, it's great the way it is. I just wanted to point some things out to you. Okay, I love this. And so, yeah, that's linked up, but you only need it in one place. If you want to put it there, that's fine, but otherwise, remove these and you would put that on every page. It's probably going to be easier just to put them here and link them to your site and take it off here. Or I guess if you want to leave it on your contact page, but usually it's redundant and having one is better. But it looks really great. I love it. And it has a very Tampa feel. And I like that. I think that Tampa needs a flavor. So nice work. I'm happy with what you've come up with. You're not required to have your mobile yet, but I want to check it out. Okay, just need to watch the way that's clipping right. And those will follow over. All right, so you won't be required to correct your mobile until next year when you get into web design, but it doesn't hurt to look at it. I love this. All right, great job. Chelsea, I was thinking a couple of things. If you're going to use this image, and there's, not some sort of asset guide to explain it, I would clean this up and make it a very clean bottom of your shoe. Anyway, so make sure you have a LinkedIn. This needs to be larger, easier to read, even if you take the box off and have it larger. Okay, I loved this. I loved it. This is really great too, really. I see a lot of shots like this, but they're not. This is really strong. It's nice and in focus here. It's out of focus here. It looks like you've actually considered the background. Oftentimes I see parking lots and cars and things like that. So kudos there. She's in the right spot. or they are. I don't know if she's a she or they. And this is just so great for 2020. I'm just loving it. It's very stylized. It's not like, here, I'm wearing a mask, but she is. And so um, it's just as natural as can be. I love it. I don't know if this is you or not. I couldn't figure it out. I don't think so, but you do need to have your own work there. If it's something you took, fine. But if it's stocked the way it looks, then you want to update that with your own work because that's what you say you do. I wouldn't put my phone number. I would wait till people contact me because you could get a lot of unsolicited contacts. So make sure if you are going to have a blog that you have posts. Otherwise, it needs to be disabled right away. Okay, good. Move your contact to the end of the page, because your navigation, because that's a web standard. It's where people go to find it. And interesting, you've made it a second page. That's fine. You could also anchor it, but I kind of like having a separate page so we're not spinning through everything. But again, it should be over here. Okay, if it were many more lines, it would have to be left align, which you could still consider doing. We want to make sure this page is updated with at least 3 pieces of work. All right, that's what you will be required to do next year. And just work on taking out all template. Make sure only your work is there. But you've got a great start, and I like your logo. Make it a little bigger. All right. All right. Nice. I'm going to say the same thing here. This is, looks very designed. This looks somewhat designed. It feels like it was from one of the workshops. But, and I'm going to say this is okay, but because it would be hard to Photoshop that out and have it look right. But this stuff, Photoshop this highlight out if you want it to stay consistent with the work that you're doing. Let's left align this. And I feel like this shouldn't overlap. You might even crop that a little bit. Love Kandinsky. Okay, update this. And here you have your font at the top, and here it's in the middle. So one or the other, and a little more space under contact. Okay. Okay, excellent. Good, and they're not terribly repetitive. The model's the same, wearing the same clothes in some cases, but it's still not repetitive, and that works. Okay, and the quality is good. These work because they're different. I don't know if you need that one. It's a little filtered. Sometimes we can get overdone. Good, good. Because we're still seeing the person. Here, the treatment starts to overtake the person, I think, I feel like. You've got to be able to see through to the person and see what they're thinking and what's inside their head, so we could at least guess, or so that we can relate. I feel like he's posing more than I feel like they're posing, even though I know they're both posing. These are just details because it's great, it's super great. This gets busy. It's because these are overlaying this. It would be fine without those images, I think. Okay, and this is overlapping content, that line, and it's not intentional, so double check that. I like the color and feel of that. So you have a palette. Oh, and this needs to come out, right? You have a palette that works for you. I feel like that font may get a little bit, and then this one moves down and is larger. So you want to be consistent with that. Okay, if these are yours, go ahead and put your watermark on them. Watch out for your spacing here when you get to this section of working with this. Um, we want this to be one word, like the rest. We'd like them not to be two words. And what that means is if you want to use the word photo dump, then that means this has to come up here, over, and then the rest have to be the same size as the longest word, okay? All right, great job. Ariana, just love this image. It's so sharp here and less so here. The clouds, the white, everything's beautiful. It looks very natural and unposed. So, and I do like the way you have this here. I wasn't sure, but I do. This may be too light, ultimately. I love all these. This looks a little blown out here, so I'm not sure that's your ideal. But all of these are great, a little blown out, but this is all great and in focus. Make sure that you are using upper and lowercase correctly because people will care. So upper case W there, uppercase I, it will make a difference. Go ahead and put a period there. It's working. And these are all linked up. That goes to your CMS that you chose. All right, work on this. I like this. I think I would say where it began instead of where it all began. I would just say where it began. I think it's interesting. I did very much like your style guide, but your images really aren't these colors. It's really, you have a lot of deep, rich, warm colors. So just something to think about. You might try taking one of your images and uploading it to Palette Generator and see what kind of colors you get. Okay, beautiful. I'd like to see a catch light there, but something you could do next time. So anyway, make sure this isn't overlapping. This is a nice photo. So your work is great. It's laid out. This is the only thing that with your work, you might try a different color palette for your logo. Okay, people aren't always going to want to give their number. They will give you their email. So try not to make this mandatory, all right? This could probably be shorter, definitely laid out to where it's all left aligned or the same font, right? So you're going to have to work with that a little bit. Yeah, okay, so just work on the layout with that, okay? Good job, though. All right. Okay, you've got a lot to work with, and that's the main thing. It's harder to come up with work than to figure out how to lay it all out. So, great stuff, and I look forward to seeing where it's going to be. All right? Good job, everybody.